he would solve that equation, that information that Elsie, taking her cans and bottles to the recycling plant, he would use one equation. He would use one equation. And Marcus said that he would use two equations. And that's what we came up with as far as what they gave us. But if you look, there's not much difference, okay? It's pretty much the same. They have a total, then this represents the number of bottles, this represents the number of cans, even though they be here. This is the number of cans plus bottles, and then the total. That's the hardest part for students to know, as well. It says bottles, but you are not using B for bottles here, you're using 4B plus 1 for the number of cans. Okay, it's because you changed the equation and you said it was written this way. So again, that's the comprehension. There's a lot of comprehension in math class. Okay. All right, so we are ready for part C. So I pretty much answered this. Solomon's equation and Marcus's equations represent the same problem. Why or why not? Okay. You don't need to write this down. Your permission to skip this part. It's yes because they both have the price of cans and the price of bottles, and they both equal the same total. So that's how you know. So now we're going to solve this problem. Okay. You probably were to the point when you were doing the write-in equation paper that it may have been difficult if I told you to solve those problems, because it was difficult to begin with to write the equations out, to figure out to see if you had the right ones. Okay? So if we struggle with that, then I'll bring that back to the table, and before I grade it, I'll say, I think I need to go over a couple more examples. So it's a hard concept. Like I said, last year when I did this, we were ahead of the game. So we did this before Christmas, and we actually had a final, and this was what, we had to get through chapter 3. And I had a couple of some tears over it because they were so, could not comprehend how to write the equations, okay? So now it says solve this problem. So we use, we're going to use Solomon's, where he wrote one equation, okay, which is 12B plus 10 times 4B plus 1 equals 218. Because the original equation asked us how many bottles and how many cans she had. So we're going to use this equation, of course, to find out how many bottles. If you can start doing this in your head, okay, little stuff like this, the sugar property, you don't have to write down every step. So in my head, I can think 10 times 4 is what? Right. 40 plus 12 is what? 52B. So I'm going to write down 52B. You at least have to write down that part. Okay? If you're a strong math student and you understand that, you at least have to show me that word, so that I can understand what you understand and what you don't understand. And this is simple. What's 10 times 1? 10. You have to write this down. Okay, for right now. Eventually, I'll say, you know what? You know that you're going to have to take that 10 on the other side. Skip that step. Right? So this will be 52B. I'm not going to write it down. I'm not going to subtract 10 around here. Because you know you do the opposite, right? If you're not comfortable skipping that step because you don't understand, then do it. So I will let you decide. If you're going to put negative 10 there, or if you're going to subtract 10 and move it to the other side, then do it. So what is 218 minus 10? Right, 208. Plus, you will be able to use your calculator on the test, okay? But you have to show me some work. On the last assignment, I showed you all my work. Your teachers next year, Your math teachers will never, ever, ever tell you not to show your work. They want to know if you understand it. And they want to know if you understand and what you do not understand. That's how they know if they need to go back and teach a lesson to you. So what's our last step? Divide. This means to multiply. So we do the opposite. Okay? Again, we probably need to start getting our calculators back out again. Right? So we take 52b, divide it by 52, and then we're going to divide 208 divided by 52. And that's going to give us how many bottles? 4. Okay. Good. Now, how are we going to figure out how many cans? What equation do we use from the other side to tell us how many cans? What? Very good. 4b plus 1. And you don't have to put the b in parentheses, but you need to get used to it because that's where you plug that back in. Okay? You got the question mark right there. So how many cans will she have? Or did she have? You substitute this b, this 4 in here for b. 17. 17 cans. So 4 times 4 plus 1 is 17 cans. And so if you want to avoid labeling your answers, you can up here tell what each of the variables mean. B equals bottles, C equals cans. Sometimes it might ask you to label your answers as well. Okay. All right, questions on that problem? Okay. We're going to stop there today because we will jump right in next Thursday and you'll probably get the rest of this completed. Okay, next Thursday. What? How will it be? Along with the field and stuff. What is the test? Not a quiz, though. Yeah. Just a second, let me push this off on my recording. I don't want someone to look at it and see.